Recording. Pop, pop, pop.
Hi, hello, welcome to episode 10, I believe, of Super Battle Club. I think that's where we're at. This should be rank D, but at the end of this episode, we all should be rank C.
I think so.
I think
that
so.
sounds good.
I'm your host, Steve. With me is Austin.
Hi, hello. I've been here the whole time.
The whole time. Okay, so last we left off, we talked about a bunch of megas. I think we're all caught up on megas now.
Should be.
We are caught up on, I believe, story stuff. So we are going to continue our journey with Corbeau, which is more of his tasks to pay off the debt. Which I think, I don't know if I'm in the right order here. I think the first one is clearing out a house.
Yes.
Which is more, I feel like, extortion.
It feels like it a little bit.
Not on us. We're already getting extorted.
Right.
But I think the guy whose house wants to be cleared out is also getting extorted in a different way.
Yeah, it sure feels like it.
Like, it seems like he hired you and Corbeau to start a business, I think. And then there are ghost Pokemon in his place that he bought.
Yeah.
And so he needs to start a business to then pay back Corbeau.
Right. Well, my initial thought was, when I first learned what we were about to do, I was like, so I'm going to kick these people that have been staying in an empty apartment building out so some guy can move in. And I'm like, well, there's the benches. I understand why they're there.
Right.
I get it. I don't want to kick them out. We should figure out something else. But it's Gengar. So it's all right, I guess.
If you caught one of these Gengars, that's one less thing you don't have to trade for.
I made sure to snag one.
Speaking of things that Game Freak likes to introduce and then take away, they took away our link cable from Legends Arceus.
Yeah, I wish they did not do that.
I don't fully understand the reason.
I think it's because they added more online to this one. I don't know, because they could have kept it, but maybe they wanted you to go online more this time. But even then, it's like separate places for the rank battles and to trade. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's like 8 Pokemon you need to trade. There's like 3 or 4 that are just simple trades, like Kadabra or Machamp or
right.
Alakazam, and then there's like Swirlix and Aromatisse, which need a held item.
Steelix, Scizor.
Yeah, Steelix, Scizor. I feel like people wouldn't have been mad if the link cable didn't exist, but they made it exist.
They made it exist, so now it's like, oh, I missed that. I want that back.
Yeah, and I think maybe the compromise is, okay, we'll make the link cable like harder to get or something.
Sure.
Just like make it cost like 800 mega shards or something.
Or even like a rank up reward would have been fine.
Yeah, or maybe you get 1 or 2 for beating the game. I don't know.
Something,
it just or I don't know, you have a big city, maybe make another store to fill in the blank stores, and then in that store you could like buy a link cable or
the link cable. They could have put the Nintendo CEO in there, just some random NPC showing up in there.
I didn't struggle with this. I mean, maybe like, okay, we went inside another building. That's
right.
There's more than 3 buildings in this game, so that's cool. We went inside another building. I think
he had a lot of stuff to move in there, though. There was so many boxes in there.
I think the inside of the building was cool, and it looked good.
Yeah.
And there's also a giant painting of
Laventon,
which I think I was told I was told you can go back to the building later and go back in, and you can interact with the painting.
Oh, okay. Didn't know about that one.
Yes.
So I'll have to go do that.
Also, I don't know if when you go back there'll be something to do in that place, but
yeah.
There is. You can also go inside some cafes. You were in one of the battle cafes.
Yeah. You can go in there. It's like one of those side quests. I think they all kind of interlock a little bit, though. But it reminds me of the restaurants, I think in Black and White, where you just go in there and battle. Oh, there was the one in Diamond and Pearl as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, you just go in there, battle some trainers.
I still don't fully get. Here's more criticism that we've maybe talked about before. I just don't fully get how there are some cafes you can go into and battle. Yes. And then
Hmm.
there are a bunch of cafes, which I'm starting to learn the names. There's like Cafe Yeah and Cafe
Like,
Nah.
nah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I don't understand why you can't go into those cafes and just like copy and paste the
Yeah, the
battle cafe
same,
and then just
yeah.
remove
The
the
battle.
battle part,
Right.
and then they don't need to be terribly different, just like change the carpet color.
Yeah.
um
To red, blue, green.
yeah, exactly, you have 5 colors to already pick
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
I don't, I would just think in my head of like you going through a door, loading into a new area, and then going back outside would, one, be pretty simple, but two, also refresh
Yeah,
anything that you
refresh
would
the
need to
world. Yeah,
refresh.
right.
And I not to bring up like the theories of like resetting your RAM and Let's Go Pikachu,
Sure,
Let's Go
sure.
Eevee. That it's not that. It's the Zelda thing that they were doing with like the Blood Moon.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
the only reason the Blood Moon exists in Zelda
It's
is to
so it
like
just refreshes
refreshes
everything.
the world. Um, and I don't know if we said this on the podcast. I don't know. I there was a tweet going around how the whole world is
Oh,
an exact
yeah.
model. That has been proven false by multiple people, and the original poster of that apologized and said, "Yes, this is false. I'm sorry that I posted this to begin with. I didn't think it was going to get traction." Um, the whole world is not one model loading in at once. That model was used for the opening cinematic of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like, well, they need to reset the whole world because the whole world is there at once, but I do think there's
Yeah.
probably something of value. That's why they did it in Zelda that they would maybe benefit from. Uh, yeah, I don't get why some places you just can't go into. It feels a little silly.
Let me in.
We go back to the sewer.
Yeah.
That was another side quest. I don't know what the extortion here is. It was like she needed mega crystals to pay back Corbo.
Yeah, but this is where I started to realize that, oh, maybe they're not super evil because they're cleaning out this place so it's safer for the Pokemon there to live. And I'm
Yes.
like, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. That actually sounds pretty good. So I'm like, okay, maybe, let's steal this child's money, but at least you care about the Pokemon. Except for the one you just kicked out of this guy's house, but that's
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the point where does he also bring up Lysander at this point?
oh, maybe. It might have been right after the Gengar one, because he's like, yeah, so you know this guy, right?
Yes, this is where they change, because when Lysander introduces himself,
It's L.
it's very obvious that the anti-homeless benches are to prevent him from sleeping on the benches.
Yeah, we need to get him off there.
I don't know. He introduces himself as L, and we all know because we played the X and Y that this is Lysander. And then Corbeau is the one that says, "Oh, you know Lysander."
Yes.
And then we learn a little bit of lore of how, like, as a kid, Lysander helped him get his footing.
Yep.
Um, and then that kind of gets cut off there.
Yeah. I like that. That's a cool little story point to I don't know if it's used to humanize Lysander a little bit more, especially after what we know from the game he was in last time. But it makes you curious to see like, obviously we're only so far in the game right now. We haven't beaten it, so we're not sure. So, but it's cool to see like, oh, how is that gonna play out? What is Lysander's point in the story now? Because he's got ties to other characters we're learning about, and yeah, I thought that was a cool little tidbit of info we got.
Yeah. Uh, and then after the mega crystals in the sewer, then we get introduced to like two fancy battling people who are like lecturing kids.
Yeah.
But it was like a good lecture. He was like
Yeah.
he was like spitting facts to these
Yeah,
kids.
I mean, they weren't wrong, I guess. They weren't wrong.
He was giving them good information. That's how I feel, though. I'm trying to give
That's
good information.
you in your Twitch chat. You're like, all right, everybody, come on, let's go to class.
The kids are like, whatever.
I don't want to listen to that. I'm going to use 4 fire moves on my Simisear and call it a day.
Exactly. They're like, oh, parabolic charge and charge. I'm not going to use those two together.
You're telling me to put Swords Dance on my Excadrill? Ain't no way.
Oh, it's so good. You're missing out. You're missing out. You battle these people, don't you?
Yeah, I believe. Do they have Aromatisse and the other one? I can't remember what they have, to be honest. But you do battle them.
Slurpuff?
Yeah.
I think you do. I think you do battle them, and then it scares them off, and then I think that
because they're like, "Oh,
time.
You're really good at this."
Yeah, and then Corbeau also recognizes you're good.
Yeah.
And then he like kind of says like some more nice things about you.
Yeah.
And then this is where like the game gets weird, is when you walk over around the corner somewhere in this city. Everything in the city looks the same, so it's hard to say exactly where you are.
Sure.
You're in you go from one of the 5 basketball courts that all look the same to around the corner. But you see Tawny/Urbane with Jet.
Yes.
And then you see protesters protesting Jet. And I think the reason is that Quasartico knows about the rogue mega Pokemon, and they're not doing anything about it. And they're also protesting that they're probably the reason these rogue mega Pokemon exist.
Right.
And also, so as Corbeau, he's like, we need to get rid of these protesters for the sake of Jet.
Yeah, this one was a little bit weird because it's like we got 2 different sides here, and not to be, too woke for the podcast, but do we really want to get rid of the protesters in this situation?
No, I'm 100% with you.
They are, bringing these rogue mega evolutions out. We got wild zones right in front of a cafe, right in front of people's houses. They're getting attacked by alpha Pokemon. Like, maybe there is a point to protest this.
It is. One side of me is like, it's not surprising that the dude who is extorting people is also going to get rid of protesters.
Right.
100% on brand for his character. But also, I think the protesters are correct.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to shoo them away.
But you're forced to shoo them away with Corbeau. And I do like how the protester dude, isn't it? His name is like something protester, right?
I think so, yeah.
And then it ends up being a 2-on-1 battle against the protester.
Yeah, it's like, I really don't want to be doing this right now. I would actually join you. But, I got Corbeau trying to steal my money here, so.
We joked about this earlier. I think that the why this moment is so funny to me is because we joked about how like there's anti-homeless benches and Nurse Joy working 2 jobs, and now you have like this mob boss who is extorting people because they didn't read the fine print or because he's like getting more money out of them in the long run. To now like remove protesters from what seems to be like a big corporation who's like profiting off of this city.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of messaging going on here, but it's just a Pokemon game,
Yeah, it's just a Pokemon. These are just coincidences.
Yeah, if it was like 1 or 2 things, sure. Maybe 7 or 8 things, sure. Any more, we'll have to have another talk about it, I guess.
It feels very on the nose, at least in today's climate, which I think is it's funny in like a relatable way.
I like it. Yeah, I think it's nice that they're doing this. I don't know.
Yeah. And after this, there's some more story progression, but ultimately this leads to the rank up battle
Yep.
with Corbeau, which is what moves us into rank C. And all of these trainers want to be rank A.
Right.
Or mention something. I don't know. You get the 3 dialogue options, and I always just pick the top one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of the dialogue is changing between that kind of stuff, but
I think there are different like lines, but I don't know how. I mean, none of it's important, right? You're all going down the same path. You're going to end up at
yeah,
the
it's
same
not
place
like
no
it's
matter
changing
what.
the story.
So, yeah.
I will say this is the first time I noticed when I went to go battle Corbeau. He was like, "Oh, you already have a ticket. I like that you're
Yes.
so
Yeah.
prepared."
Yeah. I also had that as well. So couldn't tell you if there was a different dialogue. I would assume there is,
I'm sure
but
there was. I do
yeah.
like how the Rust Syndicate has a bunch of statues of Pokemon that are not even in the game.
Yeah, because I was thinking like when I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if he had like a Mega King Gambit. But I'm like, wait a second, never
Yeah, I
mind.
think there's like King Gambit, Weezing, and Krogunk on the outside. None of
Yeah,
those are in the game. And then on the
the
inside, it's like
Overquill. There's like the
Overquill,
Overquill pot.
Bronzor, Sneasel.
Yep, there's a Sneasel with the coin.
Yeah, another King Gambit. Also, again, the inside of the Rust Syndicate
Very cool.
looks fantastic.
Yeah, very nice.
They when they try, they can do nice things.
Speaking of the inside the Rust Syndicate, the part where you're slowly walking up to Philippe or whatever, I thought that was cool. That was a nice little like, oh, it feels intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Music has been good. Have we talked about how good the music is in this game?
I don't
Music's
think
good?
maybe, but it's all phenomenal.
I liked fighting Corbeau on the Japanese Zen
Yeah.
garden thing that he had behind him. I thought that was like a really neat like battlefield back there. I almost lost this battle with Corbeau because the night before I was taking pictures of my Pokemon. So I had like a level like 14 shiny Baneri.
Oh,
or
and
not
you
Baneri,
forgot to switch.
Bunnelby. Yeah, so I went into that battle, completely forgot to switch my team.
Yeah.
So I almost got steamrolled.
Okay, that'll do it. That will do it.
But we hung on. We hung on there at the end. We see Mega Scolipede for the first time here. Which I think was kind of obvious since he used the Scolipede against the protester.
Sure.
How do you feel about this Mega?
This one's cool too. I think this is maybe one of the top 5 for me of the new ones. It doesn't change a whole lot. It gets like a second exoskeleton almost.
Yeah, it gets almost like battle armor on the front
Yeah,
of it.
I thought that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. There's like everything about Corbeau from start to finish I love. I love
King.
I love his presentation. I love his demeanor. I love like the quirks they gave him. It seems like we're not done with that part of.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it'll probably show back up.
Ivor. I don't really need to see more of Ivor.
No, I feel like out of every side character, honestly, even more so than Gwen, I think Ivor's the least interesting one. Maybe it's because this whole thing is like, I like my sister and I like to punch things.
Yeah, I mean, like I like Canary a lot. I think she's so fun. I think she's so fun. I think at least for me, she's like really relatable. I think her quirks that they gave her are like spot on. We've talked about how she's very different than Iono. But like if they didn't bring her back for the rest of the story, I would be content.
Okay.
Because I think like they kind of like wrapped her up.
Yeah, that's true. They did. Yeah.
But like Corbeau still feels like there's more here.
I think what it is Corbeau, his whole, like the Rust Syndicate Corbeau, feels very much more like inside the world. It feels like there's like different layers to it. There's different branches where Corbeau can show up and, with like the protesters or helping out people. He's a scary mob boss kind of in the world. And so it feels like he can show up more frequently and there's more to that. Whereas Canary is a Twitch streamer, right? And there's only so much you can do from that.
Yeah, and she doesn't want nor need to show up in the world.
Exactly.
She wants to just game.
Yeah.
And I don't think the VTuber Taragon would show up and just add more to things. I think that twist was really great. I think it was really fun.
Exactly.
But like, I don't know how that
Well,
shows back up at the end.
the only way I could see him showing back up maybe is because they are building the city up, right? And so he is a construction worker. He will be there to probably put up more scaffolding, or we've got to build a wall around the tower. I don't know, something like
Yeah.
that, right? But
Yeah, no, I like this part.
yeah, good
And
part.
I think this really leads into the end game stuff. So I don't know how we're going to exactly structure C, B, and A. So we are rank C going into episode 11. And I heard that I've been told there's about 5 to 6 hours of
Okay.
main story if you just focus on main story for that.
Do you want to quickly go over the hotel part?
Oh, yeah, sure. You want to?
Yeah, I figured before we like get to
Yeah.
the next character, I thought that'd be cool. This is where I started to like. I like Corbeau, right? But this is where I was like, I actually kind of love this guy. He's so nice. He decides to use his intimidation. He scares everybody and shows up at Hotel Z after you defeat him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call you on the phone. Show up. I would like a room here." And it's like, what is this guy doing here? And then he stays and he's like, "Oh, the room service, everything was very nice. The room was clean, tidy. Who does that?" And it ends up being Tawny, who's like, "Oh, yeah, I actually helped take care of everything." And he's like one of the first guests Hotel Z has had in forever, aside from the player character and obviously the Team MZ characters.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, here's a little tip. I'll give you, I'll tip you for the nice room, the nice stay." And it ends up being the money that she owes him, which
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, that's like very nice of him, actually."
And Felipe comes in to collect the money.
Yeah.
So that whole transaction seemed normal to Philippe.
Yeah, he had no idea about
Yeah.
any of this. And
Also,
so,
there's like a short interaction between Corbeau and AZ,
yeah,
and it seemed not tense, but like it could have gotten tense.
there could have been something going on there where it's like, this is a little dangerous. But yeah, it didn't quite get there yet.
Yeah.
Question mark?
But you were saying you like this whole
Yeah,
interaction.
I actually, this is maybe, I don't know if it's one of my favorite parts of the game, but it was a very, like, I think this is a part that I'll remember about this game years later. This is, like, one that I think will stand out for me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can look at this. I looked at it as Corbeau is a businessman tied to, like, legal paperwork. Clearly, that's how he
Right.
like extorted Tawny to begin with, or Urbane.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just like forgiving the debts,
Yeah, he did it in a legal way.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. It felt like a very like legal skirt my taxes. I'm
Yeah,
gonna donate
yeah.
to charity to like save some money. Kind of
Exactly.
way. Yeah, it felt very much like that, and
And
I
it
think
was very on brand, I feel like, with like what we've known from the previous like side quests he had us going on. It was like, oh, this feels like something, this feels like how he would do this if
yeah.
he was gonna do it.
And I don't know at this point if like Tawny or Urbane know how much work we did for them on their behalf.
No, I don't think we ever specified exactly what we did. They just know that we've been helping out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That part was really good and really cool. Yeah. Very good. All right. Speaking of tipping, if you'd like to support the
There you
show,
go.
you can go to patreon.com/PKMNcast if you would like to support the show. You get the ad-free episodes, you get the bonus episodes, you get a bunch of stuff. Thank you for making it to the end. Yeah, we'll have about 3 more episodes left of this mini-series, C, B, and A. So we'll try to fit the end of the game into those 3.
Yep.
But hopefully you've enjoyed the series up to this point. Thank you for listening, and we will see you guys tomorrow or the next day, whenever this comes out. Anyways,
See ya
ya
later.
later.